We are live, and we didn't talk about how we're going to start this thing, so I guess I'm just starting it out. This is the On the Mic podcast. I am P for Parrish. We've got Jam Sessions and Earl the GOAT here. Say what's up, man.
What it do? What it do?
What's going on? What's going on, folks?
It's early. We was on the text message chat, just chatting it up, and the GOAT, I think it was, presented a little article talking about Snoop Dogg getting sued. Go ahead and break it down, man. You let them know what's going on.
So yeah, Snoop Dogg has a sexual allegation or a lawsuit. Basically, he's being sued for some sexual things he did back in 2013. I didn't find who's accusing him, but I think it's probably a groupie. It seems to be right now, but it's basically hot off the presses, being sued for something that he did back in 2013, almost 10 years ago, right before his performance in the Super Bowl and right after he bought Death Row. So yeah, that's basically all we have right now. Just a little clip from TSR. You guys go follow them, TMZ, and that's it so far.
Jam, you said that she shouldn't be allowed to do this, man. Like, what do you mean? Like, you think the statute of limitations, because it's been 9 going on 10 years, that's too much, or just because you think the time in it just shouldn't be allowed to happen?
Yeah, I mean, see, the problem is when people do these types of allegations, it has a real big negative effect. But how can you defend yourself for something that happened that long ago? You know, memory's not that clear. You don't have, there's no way to prove your innocence because I don't even have the same phone, you know, or the same, you know, things that I could even show that this girl was into it or not into it. And, you know, and it just allows them to fabricate lies. And I'm not saying that this girl is lying, but I'm just saying that, it's, you know, these girls could fabricate stuff and there's no way to really defend yourself. There's got to be a statute of limitations because this is scary. Like what happens if one of your exes come back or some chick that just don't like you come back and all of a sudden they start making these allegations about you? You know, what you gonna do? There's nothing you can do but take that L.
So what's the? I mean, there is a statute of limitations. I don't know what it is in California. I'm assuming that's where he's getting sued at the state. I don't know that. I do some research, but I mean, they do have a statute of limitations. 9 years, 10 years isn't long enough. So what do you think it should be? GOAT. How long do you think somebody should have to raise these issues?
I'd say 2 years. You got 2 years. If you don't bring it up in 2 years, you know, maybe 3. I don't know, but this is way too long. Maybe 2 years. I think that's your window of opportunity. You don't say nothing after that. So be it. That's it.
I don't even think it should be 1 year.
Wow. You guys are cold-blooded, man. So you can't be traumatized. You can't be. If it happens, it happens. You need to speak up right away. So what do you think? Less than a year? 6 months?
Yeah, I mean 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
You know, but then I also think something has to be done right away. You know, like if something happens and you go all of this time and everything cool, you know, you smiling in our face, you're doing this and that, and then all of a sudden 7-8 months from now, you just decide that it was assault, but you never told nobody. You never went and got, you know, checked out. Like nothing's ever happened. You just been living life and then just wake up and all of a sudden feel like a victim. I don't know. I just feel like something is off with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of.
I got a clip of the article. The lawyer just put out a statement saying that this person fell asleep in the car, awoke shortly before arriving at Snoop's home, not her own. And she was exhausted and fell asleep at his place, and only be awakened around 4 a.m. By him trying to force the penis in her mouth. But allegedly, this is a backup dancer for Snoop way back then.
So she said woke up to him trying. So did he get it in the mouth? Did they have relations before this point? After this point?
What happened? Yeah, I guess there's a lot of questions I know you can't answer, but at the start you said she fell asleep in his car.
Yeah. Well, it says in the car. It don't say who car it was. She woke up at his house, exhausted, and then she fell asleep at his place. and she woke up at 4 a.m. with him trying to allegedly force his penis in her mouth.
Yeah, it's weird, man. There's a lot of holes. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes in the story. I agree with you. It's I mean, it's a timing thing in my mind. Like whether it actually happened or not, I think it's time specifically. This is when Snoop is at, I mean, Snoop is always popular. He's never not in the mix of things. But he's about to do the Super Bowl show. He just had that news came out. He bought Death Row. So money, it seems like the money's flowing for Snoop right now. So hit him right now. I get that.
Good timing.
Good timing. Good timing. But I do think, we always talk about, putting yourself in situations. It seems weird. I don't understand how you fall asleep in his car. Maybe she's alleged she was drugged and whatnot. But do you think, and this is for both of y'all, do you think just to get rid of the headache, he should settle? Or should he fight it? Should he fight it to the fullest? Should he? Because of course he's going to deny it. I mean, without we don't got to hear from Snoop. He's going to deny it. So, but should he fight it? Should he, wait till? Should he try to do it before the Super Bowl? Should you try to wait till after the Super Bowl? It's a couple days away now. What do you think? What do you think's a big enough headache to go away?
In my opinion, I definitely think he should wait till after the Super Bowl. I think you got to get your publicist to to maybe make a statement that that buys you some time, but I don't think that they should pay it. If the more these people get paid, the more it's going to encourage others to continue to come out in ways like this to get money. And and like I said, I'm not trying to say that this lady lying, and I'm not trying to say that she's telling the truth, but I mean, this is way back in 2013, and it's just something about the situation that it doesn't sit right, in my opinion, from how it's being handled. And I don't think that they should start setting the precedence of just paying it to go away, because then how many more is going to just come? How many more dancers? How many more people? Because I do think that there was a lot of sex. There was a lot of sex back in the day, especially for famous people. A lot of willing sex. These girls was willing to throw themselves at it, and now they could come back and just say, "Well, I felt pressured, or everybody was doing it, and I didn't really want to. They, I started off resisting, but they pushed me, they tricked me, or whatever the case is. It's just we can't set that precedence of paying it off, because it opens up a dangerous door."
One thing that I think is I think it's confusing. I heard it recently, and we can kind of talk about. I don't know if y'all heard about the Trevor Bauer. He's a LA Dodgers player who just recently the DA decided not to prosecute him. He had 2 sexual encounters with this woman where she claims he would choke her till she was unconscious and like punch her when she was unconscious, and then she said raped in the ass. Anal sex or whatever, and he was like, "Listen, we did all of that, but it was consensual." So he went the opposite. He was like, "Yeah, it happened, but I think he had some text messages or something like that. I don't have all the facts, but he was like, hey, this is what we talked about. She knew, this is what I was into, and that's what it was." And apparently, the LA DA said there wasn't enough evidence. They sided. I'm not saying they sided with him, but they're not charging him with anything. There are no charges going to be brought. He was never charged, and they're not bringing up charges. So I think what I learned from it is somebody told me that consent, you can start out saying you consent to something, but at any point during the encounter, you can change your consent. And for me, that's a little confusing. I mean, and I get it. Maybe you can be in a situation where, something's happening and you want to stop, but I think it's got to be clear for both sides, man. There's got to be a safe word or something where, I just think you can't just in the middle of the stroke just be like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that's, I don't think that's right. You
get one more slide in, that's it. The first 50 slide ins was okay, but you hit 51.
51, man. We are not good.
See, but he at least kept some text messages and stuff that I guess gave doubt, to what happened. But from how long you got to keep text messages for? It's almost like we need to get a file and a thumb drive for every girl that you ever talked to, and you got to roll those messages, into there.
Honestly, I think in today's age, you have to, man. The way motherfuckers are going on people's Instagrams and Twitters from when they was kids, they pulling up all this. You know what they say? Once it's out on the internet, it's out there. I mean, you kind of have to keep your receipts now, man, because people they pulling up everything.
But this is something that's newer. Like, this stuff is just now happening. But how did you go back to 2013, to 2014, 2015? Like
that's a long time ago.
You stuck. Yeah, you can't.
I feel like this. I feel that, and I said 6 months earlier. I feel that if there's no way for you to prove without a shadow of a doubt, then you shouldn't be allowed to make public allegations. They should have had to do something, and this stuff shouldn't be able to get out until there's some sort of evidence from a court of law that could tear down this person's name, because the Super Bowl might decide to cancel Snoop just because they don't want him affiliated, with what's going on.
That is potentially a problem. If I would think they would have to show some serious evidence though, because anybody can sue anybody at any time. Essentially, you know what I mean.
But these companies, they don't need evidence. Like it's almost like it's a job that's coming up. Yeah, it's bad publicity, and I don't want to be associated with it.
I think Snoop would have ground. They've been pushing this for almost a year. You know what I mean? So to pull him off just based off of allegation with no proof, I think they would be risking something on the other end. They would have to show something. Like look, I think in order for them to pull.
They pulled Kevin Hart off the Oscars because of a joke that he said, and they just didn't want the publicity, and that wasn't even a potential legal matter.
But we were talking about, they had the receipts. They can go back to the comedy sketch or whatever the thing he put. If my son was gay, I'd hit him over the head with the dollhouse. They got it. You said it. You can't take it back. They got no proof. This is just what some woman said about it. He did this to me in 2013.
But that wasn't even a legal matter or something. That was just an image thing. So now you're facing Snoop with a potential sexual assault charge. They could just say simply it's an image thing. We want you to go get your private affairs in line, and then maybe we can do the stuff after you clear it up next year. Like
it's horrible.
Yeah. I don't see it. I think it's gonna look so bad. I don't think they're gonna want to. Then you rush into judgment, and people do have the right to
See, but that's what they do. Like it used to be you're innocent until proven guilty. And it's like that in a court of law. He doesn't have to go to jail. But in the case of public opinion, everybody's guilty and they're never proven innocent. It's just only proven that there's not enough evidence to move forward. But you never really clear your name. I don't know. I just feel like
that'll be interesting.
This is hard.
I'd be interested to see. I don't think they'll go that far. Off of just this. Like if somebody else come out and corroborates, they hit him with that Deshaun Watson. And it's like 13, 14, 15 women come out the blue. And, it's like, all right, you got to go, Snoop. But
if you look at history, though, I mean, history says that another woman is gonna come out. Yeah. Now, is it gonna happen before the Super Bowl? That part we don't know, but history tells us that somebody's gonna come out and say, "Hey, yeah, he did it to me too. He, got me high, and I couldn't make the right decision, or something." It's just something that's gonna come out.
It always is. It seems like you said, they shouldn't be allowed to do it or make it public, until there's some hardcore evidence. But unfortunately, that's what it's basically ransom. It seems like, hey, I'm gonna put this lawsuit out until you settle with me or whatever the case may be. But it shouldn't be like that. But I mean, you think about the people who got off, like the LA Dodgers guy you just mentioned, T.I., Andrew Cuomo, his stuff just got thrown out of court because of lack of evidence. So
the T.I. stuff get thrown out? I didn't see that. His stuff got thrown out?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
He's actually trying to get back in politics and make a run for, I guess, some other office. But yeah, it's crazy. They just come up with the allegation, and then that stops the train on whatever this guy may be doing. And he has to go back 10, 15 years to see if it actually happened. But in the meantime, all the stuff gets canceled. He can't do any, in case of Snoop Dogg, he can't do any performances. Probably, I don't know, Snoop Dogg's will kick him out, or whatever else he has going on. Bad press.
Hey, man, speaking of just to lighten the mood a little bit, man, I'm curious now that R. Kelly, he's starting to pay for some of his time, man. Can we go back to listening to his music? Can we uncancel some of his tunes, man? Because I've been wanting to hear that one song, man. Feeling on your booty. That was the jam, yo.
I haven't stopped listening to R. Kelly's music, man.
Where do you hear it from? I don't know I can't find it.
You got to go search for it, man. They ain't gonna just play it.
Okay.
They ain't gonna just play it.
I like that "Step in the Name of Love" song. That was pretty cool. Look, like music.
I mean, I don't like the idea of somebody do something wrong and then now you have to cancel everything that they did for their
entire
forever.
life. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because we all have done something wrong. So you telling me that now all of my stuff got to be taken down? I don't think nobody's just innocent. Now his level of guilt, now it was real high. But but I don't think that got nothing to do with with Step in the Name of Love, because there's other folk that's getting paid, like other artists and song song producers and things that's getting paid, that now their livelihood is affected because we want to cancel somebody.
It's gonna be interesting to see how Joe Rogan, y'all know about the little Joe Rogan stuff that's going on.
Oh yeah.
So he was at first they was trying to cancel him because of the COVID. And then I guess they didn't call him. He was saying nigga in some of his past podcasts, and now they throw that on him. So we're gonna see if Joe Rogan, he got the Dave Chappelle effect, if his audience is big enough to keep him from getting canceled.
Man, one thing that I believe is it's easier to cancel the black crowd, but it's harder to cancel the white audience. Because the white audience, their white fans don't really care that much. It's kind of like Vlad. I don't know if y'all remember what happened with Vlad. He was talking about he told a blatant lie on Minister Farrakhan, and he said, "Well, I don't really need y'all money anyway. So all the blacks could be mad at me, but his white audience is still going to carry him, and there's going to be enough blacks that's still going to rock with him." And he refused to apologize to Farrakhan. So it's the same with Rogan. He got enough black audience that's going to keep listening to him anyway, and he got enough white audience that really don't care. And I just don't think he's going to be able to be canceled. Where with the black audience, it's like they find a way for us to get so high, and before it's time for us to end, to die, they find a way to tear us down. And it seemed like all of the blacks at some point, they may have been up, but then they eventually get tore down and almost forgotten, before it's time for them to go.
It depends. I don't, not in every case. There are some black people who can escape the fray, like Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle. Some of us can rise above the cancellation crowd. But I mean, in terms of Joe Rogan, he what, 20 million followers or something like that. He has like a ridiculous amount of. It's hard to cancel him when you have that many eyeballs on you. You know what I mean? Like he can. Spotify may get rid of him, but he'll just jump on some other platform.
Look, what I look at is this: like with you say the black crowd, like Kevin Hart is definitely somebody that could be canceled, because all of his stuff is dealing with, like, he's trying to be that public figure. He's not an independent artist. Now, if you're independent, like Dave Chappelle is truly independent. He putting out specials in his own backyard. He's not conforming to what everything Dave Chappelle do is on his time, on what he do. But Kevin Hart is the opposite. Kevin Hart is almost like a Bill Cosby. They thought Bill Cosby was somebody that you couldn't cancel, but eventually they got Bill. And I think the same thing at some point may happen to Kevin Hart. You got to be somebody that's truly independent in order for your deal to not be canceled.
So yeah, so basically don't have a master. Basically, you got white, black, male, or female. Don't have a master.
That's very appropriate for Black History Month, man. Don't have a master. You take something with you. We're going to keep this one short, man. This has been On the Mic. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that top stuff. Keep checking for us, man. We out here. Peace. I think that's it.
All right. Peace.
Peace.